What happened with Lil Peep, man? He died of fentanyl. Like, do you think did his label fuck him over, or was that just a freak
Okay,
accident?
look, no, let's be real. You can look at court documents that existed in the trial that just got settled, and I don't think people settle trials like that without some type of blood on their hands. Um, the way I look
Yeah.
at it is this: the kid overdosed. Okay, whether it be on fake pills or smoking that shit himself, which I
Mm.
I know for a fact that these kids were at one point.
Oh fuck.
Uh, um, were they abusing other drugs through the entirety of the trip? This is the thing, bro. Your body is a vessel that can get destroyed by different things. So if you're up on, let's say you have the capabilities of taking fentanyl and being okay, it's just how you get high, right? But if you've been up for 3 days on cocaine and you've been hitting ketamine for fucking a month, 2 months straight previous to that, your body is not ready to take a lot to stay up like that and then take a large amount of fucking fentanyl and survive.
Yeah.
Um, Peep's body when the actual his body was at 87.1 degrees when they found him. The human body goes down in degree every like minute that you're dead. Um, so it kind of told me and his mother that he had been dead there for a good 6, 7 hours. Um, I've always kind of tell people this that like if you're gonna be around people that use drugs, you need to learn how to deal with an overdose. Overdoses are not deaths. Overdoses become deaths when they don't receive medical attention fast enough. If you OD and you call a fucking ambulance, and in most states in the United States, we have what's called safe harbor laws. So if you're with somebody in your house and they overdose, if you call the ambulance and invoke that safe harbor fucking clause, they can come to your house and save your friend, and you're not going to face any legal charges, regardless if you have fucking 100 keys of cocaine sitting right there. They legally cannot prosecute anything they come in and find.
Oh,
But these people get scared and they freak out, and then there's this panic, and nobody fucking calls the ambulance, and that's when we have dead kids.
shit.
So if people had the balls and the fucking preparation, the fact that there's not Narcan on every tour bus, the fact there's not Narcan in the backstage of every concert, it's this disassociation the music industry wants to have with health.
Mm.
A lot of it goes on to like when we talk about like liability issues. If I am a manager, whatever the case may be, and I do have Narcan everywhere, am I kind of saying that I know that that kind of drug use is happening around me, and am I liable for it at that point? A lot of these insurance policies with these like fucking concerts and everything else have clauses with mental health breakdowns and drug addiction that these labels understand and try to invoke from time to time. If you look at Peep's video when he had like a 20 Xanax in his fucking mouth previous to him dying on in the bus, um, I firmly believe that that was not him of trying to take that many Xanax. I think that was an attempt to invoke an insurance clause to end the tour right there. Um, and I know that to be true. It's just a lot of weird shit, bro.
Wait. Insurance clause. So like,
Look, if
how?
you let's say this, let's say you have insurance on a tour and it has a mental health clause. So, like, if your client has a breakdown or a relapse of drug addiction, let's say that's in the paperwork that he can get off the tour and still be paid. Um,
Oh,
so I think a lot of shit that happens, bro, involves that. Um,
and Peep knew
if
that.
his management sure did. You had a documentary that didn't even mention the tour manager that was on the bus. His bus was stopped in the Canadian border, and his tour manager was found with a large amount of ketamine, and somehow got released shortly after and returns to tour directly after. Um,
So Peep wanted
there's
to
a
get
lot.
out. People wanted to get out, and then
He didn't want to
uh
be on that tour anymore.
shit, and then they knew about that, and they might have switched for drugs or something, and he accidentally took fentanyl. You think something like that?
No, I think to be honest with you, me personally, I think the kid was smoking fentanyl raw.
Okay, he just
I
fucked
think they
up.
asked. This is the thing. I think they were asking for fake pills, and people don't want to accept that reality, bro. But like, let's say this. Let's say I'm a touring act, and I got like a lot of people bring people with them on tour specifically just to go get their drugs.
Mm.
Like that's what the person's job is, right?
Right.
Let's say I hand you $200 and tell you to go get me some fucking oxy or whatever the case may be, or some Xanax.
Hmm.
Let's say I'm just some broke fool that's on the bus and just needs money, right? Like, if the real stuff is gonna beat the $200, and if I can get
Hmm.
fake shit and get it for like 10, $20 and pocket the 180, sounds like petty money, and it's insane that that's the amount of money that could risk someone's life. But yeah, like, that's what plays out. Um, and I kind of have a firm belief that's what happened. I think a lot of blame gets put on like Maria Bonds and a lot of these kids that supposedly
Yeah.
brought the drugs there. But what a dude, he was already dead by the time these kids get into these back in the back of that bus. And
Right.
they're consistently letting fans go to the back of this bus. Like, I almost feel like it was an attempt to like fucking like kind of deflect the reality of the blame of the situation. But this is the thing.
Mm.
You know who's responsible for Little Peep's death? Gustav Fahar, him.
Right.
And I think there's a level of personal responsibility that people do not want to put on these artists. But if you want to fucking be a fucking drug addict and you want to fucking take that kind of drugs constantly, and trust me, I've been there myself, you have to take personal responsibility for what you're doing. And if you aren't willing to take that responsibility, you have no fucking business using these drugs. In my life, I've been a cocaine addict. I've fucking been every type of addict I speak of, right? But I was always functional and I was always able to maintain my business acumen and keep my respect in that end.